afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Um,
No, you're not sharing your
I
screen.
am going to share my screen. I realize that. So, as usual, I'm just going to I'm going to take the next 10, 15, 20 minutes to go through the market, where we are, what I think is going on, and how can we prepare ourselves for the coming days. And obviously, one of the key thing is going to be the levels. What are the key levels to watch? So, starting with SPY, and guys, since I haven't heard, but anybody saying that, hey, we don't trade ES, we don't understand ES, can we do the same thing on SPY? So, I'm going to stick with ES, and but if anybody has a question or these levels you are looking for specific to SPY, please ask and we can share that too. Now, last I would say 3 weeks, right, has been very choppy and has been like undirectional. And last week when we were last presentation when we were discussing, we were probably covering, we were in and around this area. And just to reiterate, if you remember, I had mentioned that, guys, we are not moving anywhere, and this particular day seems to be a false breakout. And let's watch out for some downside movements. And if you remember, I might have given you a level somewhere around 38. Um, I'll have to check. Um, Somewhere around. Uh, yeah, 38, 3880, 3870 as a level. Say that, guys, watch this level. If we break below this, then actually I remember 3870. I think that was the level I gave, guys. That if we trade above 3870, be long. If we trade below 3870, be short. And that level, I mean, it's very rare that you see market trading on the both side of that level. So we actually got, an up day and follow through down day. Then we had um, these these 5 to 7 days have been quite volatile. The markets have been making moves that people don't anticipate, and I'm going to share why it is happening and what I think is happening here. So, um, so we had this drop down, right? This is the culprit bar, in my opinion. We had a drop here. We actually, we opened somewhere here. We dropped down, and whatever happened, we reversed. Now this reversal bar actually triggered a short squeeze. It basically everybody who was on the short side, everybody who was not part of the trade, psychologically it makes people get into this trade. And the short squeeze here, because 3870 was the level we were watching, and I can bet you that I was not the only person who was watching it, right? All the trader community was watching that level, and the moment we went below it, they piled on top of this, on the downside. And what happens is whenever people pile on, they will have certain levels to watch. Okay, I'm gonna wait here. It's okay. The market can pull back, but then it should sell off. And unfortunately, that did not happen. We can attribute that to any event or any news. And eventually, what happened is we pretty much closed a little bit above 3870, and that triggered a short squeeze. Okay. Um, Obviously, when short squeeze happens, we don't know how high can it go. But what we saw is somewhere around 3920, and that was again one of the level I was referring to. That if we get above on our way up 3900, 3920, and if we get above 39, this the new high is 3960, and then 4000. Like those were some of the levels I was talking about. So we I think we probably went all as high as this bar here is 3934, and I think that's where things changed, and we had an ugly reversal here. Again, keep in mind this is something I posted in our Telegram channel also, that when we see a sell-off like this, as some sell-offs, like if assume this bar closed here, um, like this, um, kind of like similar to this bar, What it's telling me is that people are shorting this market at wrong places because it's not about the location, it's about the sentiment. How we got there is what I'm thinking about and looking about. So if we are not testing certain levels, pausing at certain levels, and then continuing the down move, what it tells me is people are overwhelming selling. It's an emotional selling. They are just hitting the bid. They're just hitting the bid. And I personally think that whenever such an emotional selling happens, the market is going to punish them. The market is going to slap on the wrist and say, "You sold at the wrong time. You should have waited." And the way it does it, that it gives a wicked reversal like this, something like that. So if you have been with me, hearing me on this day, I was definitely showing my discomfort, saying that, yeah, all of this is good. We are running up, but this looks like to be a short squeeze, and I'm not comfortable holding long positions into this because there are no real buyers. The buyers who are hitting the market are the buyers who are caught at the wrong place, wrong position. The moment they dry up, we don't know what's going to happen. But we again, the 3780 level again has been the level to watch, and we have 3 days of strong selling. Now where does it puts us on a daily basis? So now it's now things are going to be more interesting to see. Yes, here we are now. Couple of important things that is happening is um, the support, the trend line that was supposed to act as support is now broken. We closed today below that trend line. Now usually, if you have read books and if you had watched some presentations, you would know that uh, market will come back and test this trend line. It will come back and test this trend line to see if there are sellers sitting there, or was this a false breakdown. This is always the dilemma, right? People don't know that this breakdown below 3,800, is this a real breakdown or is it a false breakdown? And the way they will know, you will know, is on the way it will come back and try to test these levels. So 3,800 is a psychological number, and actually I'll go back to a more closer number as I go drill down into a little bit smaller time frame, but higher level, right? I mean, on a closing basis, you should now use 3,800, 5 points up and down as your reference number to switch your direction. So if you ask me, I am now biased towards short positions. What I'm looking for is looking for stocks that is finding resistance at some key levels, some support area that they have broken, and when they are reversing, when the market is trying to correct and go up, and those support areas now act as resistance. And so that's what I'll be looking for. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of puts then from me than calls, because I like to follow into the direction of the market. So even if I'm wrong in the timing, but because of the direction, most of the stock will follow the market direction, so I get working fine. So that being said, so 3,800 on a closing basis is ballpark that number that I'll be looking at, and I will also be paying close attention when markets, if even if it gets above 3,800, what is it trying to do when we test these trend lines? You know, what it tries to do when we test these trend lines. So if they are getting decisively rejected, then I know that the trend is set and we are going to fall. It's just a matter of time, but we will eventually fall because the test is telling me that there are sellers sitting there. Um, so, so that's on the upside, right? I mean, what about on the downside? What are the levels that we can watch to see some potential support? Um, we have seen this level as support in the past, and this level is 3,656.5. Feel free to write these downs. Um, that's and it does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be in around this area. So you will see that sometimes stocks markets will reverse a few points below or above that area. So going, like coming down, I will be looking that area for some kind of a bounce into to make another lower high, and then come back down, some kind of pattern like that. But that will be my area of interest to take a position for a dead cat bounce kind of a scenario. If we break below this area, um, uh, it's gonna be more. Okay, so I know many people have been asking that, hey, we have had this selling, we probably lost 7-8%. Is a good time to buy? And my answer to that question is it depends from where you're looking. So if you're looking from here, we have had this run, and now what we're doing is we have just started to correct this. So if you take this level from this point and I look at this, I see possibilities of us coming to some of these levels here too. I'm not predicting that we're going to be here, but the drop, this is just the beginning. In my opinion, this is just the beginning. We just broke an uptrend line. Today, we just broke an uptrend line. I am expecting that in the next couple of days, you're going to be seeing articles, you're going to be seeing, newspaper, websites and all other places that we broke the 1 year trend line. March lows, we had a trend line, we broke that. That's going to be the talk of the town, and people will be coming out and talking about this bearish wedge pattern that we have developed, and we're breaking this. People are going to be coming out and saying, hey, we're going to see 3000, 3200, some of these levels. And so am I. It's just that I am talking here before any of those articles are being published. Now, on the downside, uh, uh, your levels are pretty definite. There are very pretty defined levels. 3500 is your one level, 3200 is your one level, and we have some level as low as 2900. uh, so if you are looking to buy something, think about this area as a potential area to start dipping back into for some of the longer term. But also keep in mind that once we break below 2900, nothing stops it and coming from testing these lows again. Now, all these are possibilities. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. We need to wait, watch, and see. I mean, there are, the next level is 3665 is what I think I mentioned. If you break below that, then you have 3500, then you have 3200, 3900, and then ultimately to this level. So that's the level. I mean, so now you can start preparing yourself that if you don't see the 3656 holding, then you know that the next level where the market can go is 3500, and then you prepare for yourself in order for that. When the market, if and when the market comes there, you again watch carefully to see any long term buying. My suggestion is wait for 3000 to 3200 area to start dipping. And when I say start dipping in, like, I mean, if you plan to buy 100 quantity of Apple stocks, maybe this is an area where you can start buying 10, 15, 20, and then wait and see if you get an opportunity to buy something when markets are 2900. If you don't get it, then you can start averaging up versus averaging down. So that's my area. Now, since we are here, I'm gonna go to a weekly chart just to see how things are on weekly. We can see that we are gonna end the last 2 weeks. We have been having bearish patterns, bearish close. This was the dark cloud cover. The entire week was engulfed with the gains were engulfed. The break of that levels gave us the test of the uptrend line, and now you can see we are breaking. So the other thing to read is, the candlestick bar. What they tell you is we opened somewhere here, we went all the way high to this point, and we got sold off, and we've got sold off all the way here because this is the close as of today. Now, tomorrow is the last day. Because of expiry, things might be skewed. I don't know. Maybe I don't know how this bar closed, but as long as it closed below the open of this week, which is we can take a look, it's all pointing to the downside. Let me just take a look at the what was the open of this week. 38.17 was the open of this week. So as long as we close below it, the bar just tells you that there is some selling pressure coming in. So expect some selling pressure to continue into some things. Now, also want to give you um, clear indication that uh, all I'm saying is the uptrend is broken. Okay, uh, the uptrend that we had is broken. So after a trend is done, you could have a sideway movement or you could have a down movement. I don't know whether we are in the sideway movement or we are going to be a down movement. That part is still to unfold. And and how will I keep a tab on it is basically watching these levels. 3765 is the level. If we can hold it, then we may have some sideway movement, and that would be bullish. That would be very bullish. If we hold some of these gains around 3,700, 3,650, 3,700, if we hold these levels, that will be very bullish, and it may form some few weeks to months of consolidation pattern before we break out to new all-time highs. But if we start losing these areas, 3650, 3660, then you have some pain. You will give up some of the gains that we have had in last year. I can go through the other indexes also, but we actually let me go I'm going to bring up the QQQ chart, and I'm going to go to daily, and this is if you heard me last couple of days, I have been talking about a potential head and shoulder pattern on QQQs. This being your head, and this being your left shoulder, this being your right shoulder. So we can clearly see that we are below 311, and you can go check, you can read about it. How do you play a head and shoulder pattern is when the neckline gets broken, you do a measured move all the way from here to the head, and you can plot it on the downside. That's the move we are expecting. So I think this move is around $27, 25, 26 to $27. So from 311, you can subtract the $27, 26, $27, and you're going to probably come around, somewhere below 290 or something. So that's another key thing to note on cues. There's another pattern on cues that plays out very nicely, and I'm going to zoom it so I can show this clearly. The pattern is a box pattern, you can say. What you see is for 4 or 5 days, cues traded in this range where the low of the range was 211 and the high of the range was 300. Sorry, the low of the range was 311 and the high was around 325 roughly. And now what happens is this box is broken to the downside. So you can place another box here, which is of the same width, same direction, and you can expect Qs to travel into the bottom range. That's your target. So if you're hearing it, will it it's still you may I mean. We have already traveled probably half of the width. We were 300, so we already traveled 10 $11 on it, but we may still have 4 or 5 more dollars. So, and I think this line comes in close with the box here. So going into tomorrow and into next week, I do expect a little more selling going on. We come to the bottom of the box, and then we can bounce back. At that point, we can see where the bounce takes us to. The third thing to notice on triple Q chart is we have firmly we have firmly broken the trend, and now we are in a downtrend. And what I mean by downtrend is this was our high, this was our previous high. We came down and we made equal lows here. Now, when we tried to bounce from here, this was our high, and then now we have broken down below this low. So this high here can be termed as lower high. So this is your higher high, this is your lower high, and we still need to form a low. For now, let's assume that we form a low here, right? So that will be a low that is lower than your previous low. So if you understand what I mean by trend definition, the higher highs, higher lows, whatever we were doing right now was higher highs and higher lows. That is broken. So we have broken the uptrend, and what we have started is a new trend, and I would say it's an early phase of a downtrend, wherein we have a series of lower high, lower lows, and we have a series of lower high, lower lows. So any run on cues needs it's the worst case in I mean now so now I have a downtrend line. So anytime we have a potential run, or we look for a dead cat bounce, or we look for any bounce, the this trend line will be a resistance until it's broken up. So so the tech sector is the most weakest sector. We have seen that. I don't think I am surprising anybody by saying that the tech sector has lost more than the other sectors. But that's the story of the tech sector. So that's about Qs. Can cover a bit about IWM. Usually don't take a lot of look on IWM, but um, nothing different here. We have seen the stock, making this kind of a pattern. Um, this is a megaphone pattern. It's a bearish pattern. So um, we can look at the thing. What megaphone pattern is that your lows are expanding higher and your highs are consolidating. So you can see the picture itself. So on IWM again, expect some support around 205. Uh, all these are the markers that the market has left when it was on its way up. So when it's coming down, it's gonna find supports at these levels, and we'll see how many buyers come in, and that will give us an idea whether the trend is to the down is strong or is it weaker. Now, and in my opinion, um, uh, we are in a space where the knife is falling, things are falling. I would not suggest people to be a hero and jump in and to buy something and then regret. What you want to do here is you want to be patient. You want to you want to see some signs of reversal. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's okay. Leave it to us. Me and Upen, we can do a decent job on that part, and we can tell you when we start seeing some signs of reversal, and that's when you can start getting long. So it's okay. We never want to. We don't. I never try to be the guy who's selling here. What I want to be is guy who is selling at least below this level, right? If I have been in this run, these are the levels I would have watched to say, okay, I think we are done. Let's go sell. So that's what I look for. That's what I try to do. That once we establish some base, once we start losing those base, I want to get out. So so that's on the IWM, and I think this is where I would conclude on my index discussions or market direction discussions. I have talked in detail about about SPY, ES, and a bit more about Qs, but these two are the bigger part of the market. If you follow them, you have an idea about what to look forward into the coming days. So I'm going to stop the recording and we can open up for the Q&A.